Hello, it's July 2020. It's Monday, and you are watching me, Nikki, you also known as Faces Trader, here in Awesome 10X channel. Kinadit pa ito. Thank you for listening. Jose din le kwa gun channel gun kinabit kong tio oil to say global market. Kwa bikok tai ti si le tong samia le na beboe ko pyo bikok si betiwa. So for those who don't understand me, don't worry. I'm just trying to do bilingual so that some people in the Philippines who are only able to understand Tagalog or Filipino word or like Hokkien, I'm a Filipino Chinese. So I'm trying to encourage them to actually invest globally. So I'm trying to talk multilingual. Nevertheless, okay, so let's try to discuss global markets. So global markets. So for today, Monday, July 2020, I'm going to discuss Limelight Network. So actually, this week is an interesting week. We're seeing Limelight Network report earnings tonight, 4:30 p.m. in US. That would be 4:30 a.m. in the Philippine time. We are bullish Limelight Networks. We actually discussed that there are actually a lot of edge compute platforms. You can notice that's Fastly. That would be your Datadog. Fastly, Cloudflare, Akamai, and of course, Limelight Networks. So I am bullish. We are bullish Limelight Networks. We do hold it. We think that at $7, it's actually cheap. $800 million market cap. And this is a company that we are going to take a look forward for this earnings week. Just a few things for people who aren't aware. There will be earnings reports this week. Of course, most people would be taking a look on their Microsoft and Tesla. It's going to report this Wednesday, July 22. Let me read to you a few things. Okay, for those people, one by one, let's talk about a few news, okay? One news at a time. Okay. Okay, so just to share to you why I do love Limelight Networks, I do want to share to people who are a Roku fanboy and a fangirl out there that you should actually be promoting Limelight Networks as well. It's an $800 million company that is actually it is a beneficiary because it is an infrastructure content delivery network provider for all your streaming needs. So video has been through 3 major phases. You could see that in 1930s, less than 1% of US homes owned a television set. So it was the time of broadcast TV, then the cable and pay TV, and now the over-the-top OTT. Of course, like all of the Roku fans know about OTT, over-the-top advertising. And it's good for you to know that all of these Amazon Prime TV, Hulu has actually been so this is the OTT phase. It took about only 12 years to reach 69% of the US consumer, and it is still growing. So we are seeing this a global phenomenon, not just a US consumer public. Of course, it took 60 years for cable to reach 87% of US households. It tells you a lot about the way that streaming is a 10x category. Of course, it benefited your Netflix and the like, and it's good for you to know like all of these proliferation of offerings. The cumulative number of OTT platforms launched has, of course, tenfold. You've got Peacock, Discovery Channel, BBC, HBO Max, Bundesliga, Apple TV Plus. You've got Amazon Prime, Disney Plus, other than your Netflix. And not just that, you've got Sling TV, Pluto TV, so many, right? Streaming platforms. So you have a secular growth trend. And so I think that it is actually good to own both. So I do own both. Personal disclosure, I'm a fangirl of Roku and Limelight Networks. I'm long both. Now, this is a few earnings that you want to know about this week. So I personally would read about Logitech. Why do I want to know about their earnings? Because it will affect Razer and Turtle Beach, all of these gaming-related hardware, software. I'd love to see whether people are actually growing and buying more of these as we are introducing a lot of upgrades this holiday season, 2020, 2021, 2022, we are seeing a hardware upgrade. Of course, I'd be interested to know the Limelight Networks report. Tomorrow, I'll be interested just to check, not necessarily me owning it, but I would actually be reading something on Intuitive Surgical, ISRG Medical Robots. I'd be reading I'll be reading Ameritrade, yeah. Snapchat, I am not I think I'm late, so I don't really care whether it has good earnings or not. But I'll be interested with Interactive Brokers, Ameritrade, E-Trade. So I do believe that all of these brokerage firms will actually have a good earnings report this week. For those who don't know, we did cover the rise of retail brokerage firms. So in my view, like all of the retail brokerage firms should have actually a good growth in this past few months, given the number of accounts trading the market, whether value turnover increased or just the slew of so many accounts opening for their opening global accounts. So I'm also going to be taking a look, of course, in this highly important earnings report of Tesla and Microsoft. Chipotle, I think, would be, I don't know, maybe kasi Chipotle is already perfect. So when you are perfectly priced, no matter how good your earnings are, I don't know if it can sustain that $1,000. So at this point in time, I'd say that the market will actually be looking, of course, at market access and NASDAQ. These are, of course, winners of your rise of retail brokerage firms. For those who want to watch, we have that video last Friday. It's just here in Awesome 10X channel. You can actually check it out. Din na ay kam kung ay mga kopyo hang tibi ko lan si pai go utong tige video la gun si kang so ay mga Ameritrade, IBKR, Interactive Brokers, E-Trade, kung ay NASDAQ Market Access, in so ay si bitingwa tana din na ay kung si most of my videos are always yang bun oyo din na hang try to listen English masi ohat la gwa bo shong le kong Hokkien we kang ko kong Hokkien we so ay bi ko ke kong sila tan si I'll try to interject a few Chinese and Filipino words or English words just to help our help more people get aware of what are the opportunities for them worldwide. Actually there are also earnings that I might not own them, but I am actually taking a good look because it will help me with an understanding of the market. I want to see whether the airlines as a sector is actually recovering because it will tie up with your reopening theme stocks. So whether it be American Airlines, Southwest Airlines, those are companies that I would take a look at just for the knowledge of what's happening, as well as United Airlines. So a lot of airline companies will be reporting this week, and actually it will tell me whether the companies involved are recovering. And then for the people who are very bullish on your Sunrun and your SunPower, I think that this next era energy report on Friday is something that you want to pay into attention for. Whether it's next era energy or next era energy partners, NEE and NEP, these are the number 1 renewable energy providers in America. So these are companies that I would be very much interested to watch and read the earnings. I'll also be interested with Intel and Skyworks. So when I'm interested, it doesn't mean I own it. But I am bullish about these companies to the point that I would want to read about their earnings. What can they say? Because the world is interconnected. What Skyworks will say on 5G is important for me. What Intel would tell about like whether it's the MOVEit acquisition or how the semiconductors industry would do, it's actually beneficial for me. In fact, even if I don't own Yamana Gold, I'd love to hear your outlook because it would say a lot to the rest of the gold miners coming up, which also will have earnings coming out. So that's really how I understand, or how I try to understand earnings. Okay, so I am also interested. Okay, so last week, Cloudflare, of course, Cloudflare had an outage. It's a 30-minute outage. And so a lot of people now are discussing the critical importance of Fastly and Net. Just for a few reminders. Okay, let's see. Actually, there's a good article, so I shared it. Seeking Alpha. Let's try to take a look. Fastly is actually it's an $8 billion company. Cloudflare is a $10 billion company. Both of their margins are great. You can see 57%, 77%. You could also see that the question now is not whether these companies are great. The question is, are you paying a premium to them, and is that premium warranted? So this is actually a Cloudflare presentation. They're present in 200 plus cities, 95 plus countries. 99% of the internet connected developed world population is located within 100 milliseconds of our network. So Cloudflare is ticker net. This is Cloudflare helping build a bigger internet, better internet, serverless infrastructure, the network increase efficiency, global scale, better products. So they are, of course, powering up your Shopify. I have it in my slide here. Where is that slide of mine? I have it. Don't worry. I made it. Where's that? Cloudflare. Here you go. So Cloudflare has they're saying that they're large addressable market. So far, the chart is uptick $37. My question only is, if I'm paying $10 billion, am I paying too much? So 50% higher revenue growth, CAGR. So I wouldn't say that it's a sell, but I'm just apprehensive if I'm paying too much. The valuation could be a problem for me. So 77% gap gross margin, efficient business model, agree with that. So our favorable competitive position, they said that, so they're saying that Cloudflare is better from these competition. Of course, you've got Fastly, Limelight, Akamai. These are point solutions. You know, every time a company wants to promote themselves, all their competition is always not as good as them. Nevertheless, I do think that all of them are critical. Just take a look, very simple, take a look at their market caps. Cloudflare is a $10 billion company. Fast is an $8 billion company. Limelight is an $800 million company. And Akamai is a 20-year-old $18 billion company. Among these four, I am long Limelight and Akamai. You can study it for yourself. Akamai is profitable. Limelight is also profitable and cheaper. So Net and Fastly are not yet profitable. Sure, you could say that it will be profitable, but and I don't disagree with that. It's just a matter of valuations for me. Of course, I do like Sony's Ghost of Tsushima. The graphics are amazing. You could actually check it out. Sony, I think, had a great week last week. PlayStation 5, PlayStation 4 games. Of course, they're gonna have PlayStation 5 introducing, of course, in the holiday 2020. And of course, the Fortnite acquisition. Ever since that Fortnite Epic Games $250 million acquisition, Sony has been just really in a straight uptrend. So ever since March, this is just an uptrend, a V-shaped recovery move. So nothing wrong with that. I'd say that any drops near $70, people would like to buy this on any dips. If there's no dip, I'm sorry for that. We have a lot of uptick moves in China. You could see that kaboom. So these are just your electric vehicles in China, BYD. So there was a strong support at about 60. So you could see that this one is actually a flag here at 60, and then boom, at 90. So 50% move. This is a normal pullback, and that is a resumption of the uptrend. I'd say that this same thing would happen for 175 GD Auto. So rally moves up 12 to about 19, correction, and then this another move up. So 60-30, some brokerage firms in China, same thing. 15 moves to 21, pullback pattern, kaboom. Yes, we do know how to chart, but we also know fundamentals. Wait up. So it's always good to actually know your fundamentals and your technicals. Nothing wrong with that. Statistics means never being certain. Some things that I want to share, of course, SoftBuy 9984. So this is a good statistic. TikTok and Zoom, they are very much strong. For the people asking me, well, Zoom I think right now is quite expensive, but these things are very hard to get. Expensive for a reason, 169% revenue growth, very strong guidance. The report will be at September, so I think any drops near 220 or 200 is to die for. I would be happy to get it on any dips, but I'm not even sure if you'll get any dip. What else happened? Okay, so last week there was a strong move for all your wearables. Your wearables have great numbers. Sorry, not numbers, great news. So I do like the opinion of Derek Zierler that so we are of the opinion that Microsoft should actually just buy RealWear. And RealWear is actually not listed, but you can actually get a upside from Copin. So let me read it to you. Okay, so this is something I shared. D. Zeiler is one of the key opinion leaders that I follow. I do believe that you surround yourself with winners like him. Together, I do believe that the future of AR, VR is a 10x or more industry. This is the case for why Microsoft should acquire Realware because it has this gap, the head-mounted tablet. So for that, Microsoft and Copen, I'd say that Copen is a winner. You could see that the market actually agreed with us. Copen went 50%, 120 to $2. I'd say that any drops here at 180 will be bought by the market. My target here is, from a chart perspective, you've got some resistances here at about 240. But if we try to break above that 240, I'd say that yes, this is a 10x move. For those who aren't aware, it did trade at about 20 cents there. So at $2.20, $2.40, yes, it's a 10x move in about March, but I still think that it has huge, huge upside. So for those who don't know, try to study Copen. I do think that this 350 would probably be achieved even $4. So it's just gonna take a while, some time, but this is some of the best winners that you could actually make money from. So of course, for those who have been following us, Copen is probably with you. You've probably been buying already here at about 130, 125 when you were purchasing it here. So we're purchasing here since July 1, July 2, July 9, all of that time. So yeah, we're still holding that winner. Let me share to all the people who aren't holding winners that you could always buy winners on dips if they dip. If they don't dip, I'm sorry. This is something that I'm also interested to look at. SPAC Hunter at Socks Guru. I do take a look at SPACs. FMCI is gonna be your tattooed chef. This is like your second Beyond Meat in the USA. So I'm okay with this. This is a good drop. So from about $10 rally to about 19.90. From a Fibonacci, you could see that it's actually in your support zone here at 14. Let me see. Of course, it's gonna take time. It could take a while, a few quarters to actually change the name from FMCI to Tattooed Chef. But these are the SPACs that I am interested into. So this is a 618. It's actually a good move for me. Any drops is limited. I'm not even sure if it will drop at 1250. Those people who don't have FMCI, it is actually a good risk reward. Buy low, and then let's see where it goes. No, don't sell, because I really don't like people selling their winners. I always say that if you have a winner, it's so stupid for you to sell your winners. You lose more selling your winners rather than just holding it. So I really believe in that, especially if the upside is larger than the downside. So what else can I say? Yeah, so I shared like a lot of VR articles. So this is the future is a hybrid. We do have like a lot of interesting companies. Of course, I like GAN. GAN gave an entry last week at about 23. It actually gave an entry here at 23 below, even went as low as $22. So yeah, so this is just a complete uptrend. For those who aren't aware, online sports betting is powered by your GAN software. So yeah, so this is an IPO this year. It still maintains, I think, a good uptrend. Just hold on to it. What else? We have a lot of winners. FMCI is good. Fastly, you study it yourself. I'll be interested in Fastly at 60. If I don't get it, it's fine. There will be a lot of winners that will come our way. You don't need to FOMO if you don't like the upside and downside moves. You can just wait it out. What else do I like? Food. I like food. I like, what else? Soft B, we have that. Yeah, this one is good. So I'll be waiting for this Chinese bubble tea, Nayuki. So Nayuki wanted to actually be listed this year, but I guess the Luckin coffee fraud dampened the spirits of people. Nevertheless, it's actually legit. So this is a Chinese bubble tea chain. They finished a $100 million round. I'll be interested to actually watch that for the IPOs this year. What else am I gonna share? So this is our rise of retail brokerage firms. Data on remote work. Choiceology is a good podcast. It's is I think like Coca-Cola is gonna report this week as well. No, now I don't really discuss about Coca-Cola, but I want you to know something. If you're a millennial there and you hear people saying bad words to our dear Warren Buffett, I want to defend Warren Buffett because he doesn't even need defending. That's the truth. So let me just give like something about him. So I always said, study a man's greatest winners. Coca-Cola, $2.45 is about $46 in 40 years, 1980s till 2020. It pays $1.64 dividends annually. So even if like Warren Buffett just held, he's already up 50%, just sleeping and even in his casket someday. That's how good he is. So what could you learn about him? So, okay, you could even say that Buffett should have invested in Starbucks. 33 cents went to $100 in that smaller period of time. Could even say Shopify, you should have invested Shopify 50x in 5 years. So the thing about him is that I want to say that Warren Buffett is not the greatest investor. However, he is the world's most patient investor. So the key trait about that is you have to hold your winners, because if you don't know how to hold your winners, I don't think that you will do a very good career if you can't hold your winners. So if I need to say to you that you have to hold your winners, then Warren Buffett should be somebody who should exemplify the guy who knows how to hold his winners. So Berkshire Hathaway, of course, has a huge stake in Apple. Even if he's late, even if you bought at 130, Apple now is about 360. Of course, he bought the same thing in Coca-Cola, 1988 to 2018, $2 to 42. Yeah, and still holding. He's gonna have like dividends every year. So there's nothing wrong about being a day trader. All I say is that it's okay to be an investor. It's okay to be a day trader, but don't like say something wrong, like calling someone 90 years old demented or horrible. I think it's disrespectful. So I think like all of this suits against Hood is not good. You can be successful without putting him down. To me, against them is old. Yes, I'm talking about like Davy Portnoy. He could be doing that for like entertainment rave reviews, but I still think it's wrong to actually be saying bad words to like somebody like Mr. Warren Buffett. It's just not right. So that's it. Yeah, so thank you very much for listening to me. This is Awesome 10X channel, and see you again tomorrow. I hope you learned something, and then I hope you are winning. And for those who haven't subscribed, we have Awesome 10X. Just subscribe. This is every day. Thank you very much. So see you again tomorrow. Bye-bye.